This is the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. I am your host, Laurie Henderson. Join me on this journey into the world of manga, where a river of reviews flow through caverns of commentary down into the latest news. Welcome to the Manga Dome. Episode 47, 4 Surprises of 2013. The Weekly Wish List. February ends quietly with a list of just 2 volumes. Fairy Tail continues its monthly blitz with volume 35 from Kodansha. From Vertical comes Insufficient Direction, a sort of biography by Moyoko Anno about her marriage to anime director Hideyuki Anno. I wasn't too sure about this title when it was announced, but the uber geekiness said to be inside really has me intrigued. In the news, Yen Press adds another Blood Lad spin-off. Yen Press has confirmed that it will publish the 4-comma spin-off series Burato, Buradora, which they are calling the second volume of Bloody Brat. The first was a collection of short stories and 4-panel comics by creator Yuki Kodama and artist Kanata Yoshino that took a backstage look at the main series, Bloody Lad. The second volume continues in that vein with all 4-comma strips. I haven't found a 4-comma I really like, but then I haven't tried more than a few. Aaron's Absurd Armada is the closest I've come. I'm leaning toward giving it a pass. Viz Media adds new manga to Weekly Shonen Jump. Viz Media announced a new title to their digital manga magazine, Weekly Shonen Jump. Stealth Symphony is debuting in both Japan and the US simultaneously and is written by the creator of Durarara, Ryogo Narita. It is about Jig, a young boy with an unfortunate curse. He starts off toward the town of Jinbo-cho, seeking someone who can remove the curse. Little does he know, this is the start of an adventure of a lifetime. I really liked Durarara, so I'm already hooked there. I definitely want to check this one out. Kodansha license outed by Right Stuff solicitation. During an announcement of new titles available for pre-order from Kodansha Comics, retailer Right Stuff also let slip a license that Kodansha hadn't announced yet. The Heroic Legend of Arslan is a series of 13 novels that inspired 2 anime movies, a manga adaptation, and OVA series back in the early 90s. Himuro Arakawa, creator of Full Metal Alchemist, started the second manga adaptation of the series in July of last year. It follows the story of Prince Arslan. Supported by his loyal servant Daryun, he gathers allies to fight back against the army of Lusitania to try and take back his kingdom of Pulse. Fantasy and Arakawa in one package? Yes, please. The Top 10 Department. VizManga.com. It's the last week of the month, so instead of a top 10 for the week, Viz gives us a top sellers of the month. Going in the order Viz placed them for the month of February, One Punch Man Volume 1 is at number 1. Toriko Volume 20 is at number 2 and is followed by Siren Volume 14 at number 3. A Devil and Her Love Song Volume 13 is at number 4, while Bleach Volume 59 comes in at number 5. Dragon Ball Full Color Volume 1 comes in at number 6 and is followed by Dead Man Wonderland at number 7. Knights of the Zodiac Volume 8 is at number 8, Magic Volume 4 is at number 9, and Phoenix Volume 2 ends the list at number 10. This list I find a little more believable than January's top 10. At least all of these titles hit the top 10 during the month, except maybe One Punch Man, but that was because it was just released last week. I had little doubt this formerly Weekly Shonen Jump only title would chart, since all the word of mouth and cosplay has no doubt whet people's appetite for it. Even I'm interested in checking it out. The New York Times bestseller list. Over at the New York Times bestseller list, a slew of new Yen Press titles once again shakes things up. A new title takes the top spot. Blood Lad Volume 4 now stands at number 1. Bleach Volume 59 moves back 1 to number 2. Attack on Titan Volume 1 surges up 5 to number 3 and is followed by Attack on Titan Volume 11, which stays at number 4. Judge Volume 3 leaps in at number 5 as Naruto Volume 64 falls back 4 to number 6. No matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault I'm Not Popular Volume 2 returns at number 7, while Kami-sama Kiss Volume 14 moves up 1 to number 8. Toradora Volume 6 falls back 6 to number 9, and Monster Musume Volume 1 returns to take the last spot at number 10. There are some interesting returns. No matter how I look at it, and Monster Musume return after some time off. It's cool to see Seven Seas with 2 titles on the list at the same time, and Kami-sama Kiss has not only stayed on the list for 3 weeks, but it also made a move up. Very cool for a non-creepy shoujo. 4 surprises of 2013. When I heard the Academy Awards was going to be this week, it got me thinking about which new titles I liked best of 2013. But as I looked over the new releases, it made me realize just how many I haven't read, and that any best of I tried to do would be inadequate at best. But looking at my aborted list, it made me realize just how many titles I ended up being surprised that I actually did enjoy. So here are 4 titles that I read and was surprised I actually liked them. Magi was a title I was looking forward to from Viz Media until I learned who the creator was. When I first heard the premise of being based in the Middle East and having some relation to the Arabian Nights, I thought, that sounds cool. Then I learned it was by Shinobu Otaka, the creator of Sumomomo Momomo, a title I not only didn't like, but actively hated at the beginning. The end wasn't bad, but I still didn't like it. But I read the first volume of Magi anyway, and was immediately taken by the lead, Aladdin and his headless genie. It was a fun adventure, and I was pulled in. It still had some lecherous scenes with Aladdin that I didn't care for, but overall, I liked it so much, I bought the next 2 volumes. While I am a sci-fi fan, I'm not a big, hard sci-fi fan, so Knights of Sidonia from Vertical sounded interesting, but wasn't anything I was excited about. And then I read the first volume. It was filled with interesting characters, an immediately fleshed out universe, and based just enough in reality to be believable. It appealed to me in ways other titles from the same genre didn't. I liked the realistic look of the ship with its steel girders and humanity's attempt to make it still feel like a home, as well as the changes to humans themselves after centuries in space. I didn't like the bullying Nagate Tanikaze had to go through, but he's an enigma himself and only added to the appeal. I didn't care for the first volume of Puella Magi Oriko Magica, one of the Madoka Magica spin-offs from Yen Press, even though I wanted to. I didn't like the inclusion of a cute little girl into what was supposed to be a dark story. I also couldn't see where the story was supposed to be going, or what Oriko was really after. But after reading the second, concluding volume, I did a complete 180 on the series. The characters introduced in the second volume and how it ended turned out to be very powerful and just floored me. I didn't see it coming at all, and that's what made me enjoy it even more. Happy Marriage is a josei manga that Viz has squeaked into their shoujo beat line with a mature rating. I've been dabbling with josei manga, but the ones that Viz has brought previously hadn't appealed to me, so I didn't have high hopes for this one. Its premise of an arranged marriage out of convenience didn't appeal to the romantic lover in me, but I was surprised by the characters. I thought Hokuto was too much of a jerk to like, but he won me over. The relationship between him and Chiwa turned out to be the more bickering type that I enjoy. And I like that Chiwa has continued to assert herself and try to keep her independence despite having to live with Hokuto. They are still strangers despite having signed a piece of paper, and I like how the first volume showed that. Now I need to read more. Did you read any new titles in 2013 that you were surprised you liked? Or maybe there was one that you wanted to like but ended up not liking. Leave me a comment and let me know. Thank you for listening to the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. You can find links to the stories and books discussed here in the show notes at manga.jdragononline.com. You can email me with any questions at xanadu@jdragononline.com or leave a comment on this post. Rate me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at Manga Xanadu, all one word. Until next time, farewell from the Manga Dome.